Hello, third graders. Welcome. It is time for lesson 7.5. We are looking at fractions today, but this time we will have no shapes. Think about that. All right, take a look at this number line. It's the same one you might see in a classroom, where you have, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And my question is, I want you to try, can you do this? What are some numbers that would go in between 0 and 1? So don't tell me 0 or don't tell me 1. What are some numbers that are more than 0 but less than 1? Okay, are you thinking about fractions? How about if we went right here, right in between 0 and 1? That would be 1/2, right? So 1/2 as an example, 1/4, 3/4. Now, some of you might have really been going farther and been thinking about decimal points. And if you were, that's great. We're not going to cover that in this video, but you could certainly use a decimal to get in between there. So we know our numbers are more than 0, right? If they contain quantities that are more than nothing, right? You think about pizza, right? If you eat 0/10 of the pizza, well, you ate nothing. Okay, but if you eat 2/10 of the pizza, you at least ate some, right? And less than 1, right? So a number, let's say we had 2. Okay, so 1/2 right here. And if we had another half? 2 halves? Well, if you eat 2 halves of the pizza, you ate the whole thing. So that would go actually right here. And that's why I put it right underneath that one whole, because 2 halves and 1 whole are the exact same thing. Remember that word equivalent? That's what those are. All right, we talked about the other ones. Today we are going to think about fractions as the distance from 0 to an end point on a number line, right? So thinking about pieces of this number line in between 1 and 0. I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Here's our goal here. You can see our objective. I will be able to represent fractions on number lines. And hey, look at that. Represent a fraction on a number line. Well, there you go. And look at this. We're going to do this. Partition. Partition means to break into parts. And we're going to make sure that they are equal parts. All right. So what I want to show you is how we can think about fractions on a number line. Now, if you have pattern blocks, there are some directions here that go with pattern blocks, but what I'm going to just kind of show you is this number line. In fact, let me bring this on over to its own page here so that we can focus on that. Can I paste that in here? Aha, perfect. And let's make it stand out. What's a pretty color? Black. All right, black it is. So if we have a number line like this, right? And notice that 0 is the beginning of our number line and 1 is the ending of our number line. This is the same. What we're going to do here is use fractions to divide up this number line. So you know the pizza, right? If you have, let's say we had fourths. We split up the number line into 4, or we split up the pizza into 4 pieces, right? This is fourths. Another way to do fourths is on our number line, and that is to use jumps. So we're going to try to do 4 equal jumps, and we're going to try to get to the number 1. Ready? Let's see how well I can do these and I'm going to try to make them as equal as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my goodness, look at that. I did pretty well. My last one's not so great. But what I was able to do, just like we created equal pieces here up on the top, we created equal jumps. Okay. We divided a pizza into equal parts. We divided a number line into equal parts. And now what I can do, I can label each of these spots. Okay, and the first ones are already labeled, right? So 1 or 0 and 1. So now let's see. If I was to shade in one piece of this pizza, what fraction is that? 1/4, right? And if I do one jump, that's 1 out of 4 jumps. 1/4. See how these are the same? On my pizza, if I shade in another one, now I have 2/4. And on my number line, if I make another jump, what goes right here? 2/4, right? Or if you said 1/2, that's an equivalent fraction. That would be correct also, right? We're halfway, right? Half of the pizza. Oh, it looks like I forgot to finish my 4 down there. There we go. And then, of course, another one would be another jump, 3/4 and 3/4. And then you know what happens, right? If we get to the whole thing, that's the same as 4/4, which equals 1 whole, right? We just filled in the whole thing. And now you can see the 1 whole, it's right here. Another way to write that is 4/4. So what we're doing is we're taking what we have done with shapes and we're moving it onto a number line today. Pretty cool. There's that objective to be able to represent some fractions on number lines. All right, I would like for you to open in your math journal. What page is this? It's page number 229. Okay, let's do some together. You're going to be following along and drawing this as I make the jumps here, okay? Now, the first one is just 1 whole. So we have 1 big jump. Here we go. Ready? Whoop. 1 jump. Okay, we did the whole way. We're dealing with just whole numbers there, no fractions. The next one says halves. Halves, I know. 1/2 has a 2 on the bottom, the denominator, right? And so I'm going to make 2 jumps. Try to make them even with me. Do this in your math journal. There we go. Looks pretty good. Here we have 0 halves. Here we have 1/2. And here we have 2 halves. Right? Not 2/4. That's not even close. 2 halves. 2 halves is the same as 1 whole. On the next one, we have 4ths. All right, I want you to try it. You saw me do 4ths already. Try to make 4 equal jumps and land right here at the end with the last one. Now, what if you mess up? What if you do this? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's not going to work, right? You can erase. You probably don't have a fancy erase button like I do on my computer here, but that's what pencils and erasers are for, right? There's all of our jumps. Let's label these. These are the same as the last one, so I'm going to go through them a little bit more quickly. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, right? We're just counting the jumps because we're taking this line and breaking it into pieces. See, like here's a piece. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 pieces. All right, now we go down to the next one. How many pieces do we need to break this one into? 8, right? Because it says 1/8 right here. Here we go. All right. We'll have to try to get exactly there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you should be halfway at 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Pretty close. This 5th one or 6th one is not very good. And now 0/8. What would be this very first guy right here? 1/8, right? 1/8. And go ahead and label the rest of them. Oh, I did 4ths again. Well, that wasn't good. Let's just fix that here. That looks terrible, but it says 3/8. 4/8. 5/8. 6/8. 7/8. 8/8 equals all the way. All right. Take a pause here, and I want you to try 1/3 and 1/6. All right, so when you are finished, yours should look like this. Now, one thing that I want to show you is we can use this to find equivalent fractions. Remember, equivalent fractions are fractions that equal the same amount. Where are the equivalent fractions on here? Well, look, if you start at a fraction, let's say I start right here at 1/3. If you look either straight up or straight down, if there's another fraction that is the same amount, that is directly on top of, not a little bit to the side, but right above or right below, that fraction is worth the same amount. And so if I look at 1/3 and I look straight up, I don't see anything. You're thinking, oh, wait, 3/8 is close. That's true, it's close, but it is not directly on top of 1/3. There's nothing up there, but look underneath it. See 2/6? 2/6 and 1/3 are equivalent. They are equal. They are the same. And if you don't remember if you want to go back to the old equivalent fraction video, you can. Okay, but equivalent fractions are fractions that are worth. They have the same amount, the exact same value. Let's let you do one. How about 6/8? So look at 6/8 and tell me if you see any fractions right on top of it or right underneath it. 3/4. See, it's right on top. Now, if you go straight down, 5/6 is close, but can't be close. It has to be exactly on top for it to be equivalent. All right, our last activity here, we're going to make sure we know how to name a given spot on the number line. Okay, so what fraction does the number line show? I don't know. Well, it's 1 something. Well, they all say 1 something. Here's what you do. You need to count the jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4. This number line is fourths, so one of them is 1/4. See? Not too bad. Count the jumps. That's how you know what the denominator is, right? That bottom number, the denominator. All right, you help me out. I'm going to do the jumps. Okay, where is the dot? 2/4, right? 4 jumps. This is 2/4. So we would type or write 2/4. One last one. Now you try all by yourself. Did you say 4/8? If you didn't, watch here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is the 1, 2, 3, 4th one. 4/8. All right, 3rd graders, you are working in your home link book. Where's this page? Your home link book. And you can see that we have some fractions on this number line. So you can make these jumps here. The triangle is just like the dot on the ones we were just doing. It's just showing you what is pointing to. So you're going to be drawing these jumps. You're going to be drawing these little jumps over here. Well, that's a bad job, right? But you'll be able to do it with your pencil much, much better than I will. And then you're going to name whatever fraction is missing there. Okay, you have 4 problems there. Well, or actually 2, but they each have 2 parts, and then down here a couple of an adding problem and a subtracting problem to practice. This is Home Link 7.5. This lesson was about fractions on a number line and how we can use a number line to represent fractions. We're going to work on this some more tomorrow. This is our first step. All right, good luck.